time to vote for your two best answers in terms of how Maria can better engage and motivate John. We're going to close the poll and see how we did. Wow, terrific. The best answers are B and E, and everybody did extremely well. C is not the correct answer, and let's just talk about that. Let's move back to the slide and have a look at the profile shapes and see why that is not the correct answer. Using a steady pace and a step-by-step approach is ideal when you're dealing with a high steadiness factor. John is a low steadiness factor, and so he wants things fast and active. Because he's motivated by recognition and goals, B was one of the correct answers, and because he likes a broad scope of operation, doesn't want all the details and all the process, E was the other answer. So well done, and let's move on to the next question. Now this is a little trickier question. We're still with Maria, the manager, and John, her direct report. This time we want to identify the best techniques that Maria could use to ensure that her message is heard by John. It's about getting her message received by John. So once again, you're identifying two techniques. Let's take about 30 seconds to a minute to look at this, and then we'll give you a 10-second warning and open the poll. Ten seconds. Okay, we're opening the poll, and you can cast your votes here. Okay, we're closing off the answers, and let's see how we did. Now this was a tricky question. The best answers, based on all the learning from today, as well as the DISC factors, are B and D. So everybody got B, and some of you got D. There was a split on C. So let's have a quick look and see why we got that split on C and D. Okay, so I think everybody got B, which was a perfect answer, because John is all about feeling. Remember, influence is the emotional factor, and John loves to sell and talk about his feelings. So when Maria asked him how he's feeling, he's in seventh heaven, really happy, and he's able to express what he's heard and what he thinks, which gives Maria the feedback she's looking for. Being very direct about what she wants. This was a question where people made mistakes. Being very direct about what she wants. Remember, telling is not a conversation. So Maria can be very, very direct about what she wants, but it's not necessarily going to ensure that John has heard her message. So if the question was be very direct and ask for feedback, that would be a good answer. But the reason it was not as good an answer as D, because it's one-way communication. Asking John to summarize his understanding of what she wants, another beautiful answer, because it's about the receiver telling Maria that he gets it. And as he's allowed to summarize, he's talking, which is what he loves to do. So that was a tricky question. Well done, everybody. Now we've got an even trickier question coming up, and this is a question for dealing with really tough conversations and difficult conversations. So this time we're dealing with Mary, who's the director of IT, and two managers, Bill and Jacques. In this particular situation, it's a change management situation. And so if you can read the description at the right-hand side of the slide, and once again, you're asked to identify the two best communication techniques for Mary to ensure that it shouldn't be what Bill and Jacques get, but that Bill and Jacques get on side with change. So Mary's got a big SAP implementation. Bill and Jacques have been working in a very administrative technical role. Suddenly she's putting them in charge of business functions, and they're going to have to be very proactive to give service. So how does Mary ensure that Bill and Jacques get on side with change? Look at their profiles, put together what you know about change management. I'm going to give you a minute to think about this one, and then we're going to open the polls. Seconds, and we're going to open the poll. Here we go. Here's your opportunity to cast your vote for the two best communication techniques for Mary to deal with her two managers. Okay, let's take this up and see how you did. The best communication techniques for Mary, the best answers are B and D. So hip hip hooray, everybody got B. We had a bit of a split on D, with some people split out on A and on E, but the best answers are B and D. Let's just go back to the graphs and let's see why we went with that approach. The first thing to pick up on here is that Bill and Jacques each have high steadiness and high compliance. With steadiness, the communication style is listening, questioning why. With compliance, the communication style is writing and wanting to know how. So the reason that A doesn't work is that it's too big picture. Too much verbal information will likely push Bill and Jacques into a fear mode where they are starting to fear conflict, chaos, insecurity, that sort of thing. B was an excellent answer. These are both internalizing behaviors, and they need time to soak and digest. So B was a really good